in the pond isn't what everybody thinks it is. You just can't go out there and dig a hole and expect it to produce trophy bluegill or trophy bass. Every 2 weeks, we're checking 400 acres of water, 80 feeders, and we're treating it just like you're crop scouting a bean field or a food plot. You're checking for insects, you're checking for weeds and the growth, everything in a food plot. When we come to a fish pond, we have to scout for weeds. We have to check the fish, the water quality. We check the pipe, the dam structure. We check everything in that pond to make sure it's in the best shape possible where we can create that trophy bass or trophy brim pond. When we first come to a pond, first thing we look at is water quality. We'll run an alkalinity test, check the calcium carbonate in the water, and that's going to determine whether or not you need lime. All right, this is my alkalinity test kit. We've already got our water sample. What we're going to look at is we're going to turn the water green with this bromcrosol green methyl red. And the reason it's called that, we'll turn the water green, and then we're going to titrate it with some sulfuric acid. Each drop from this dropper is approximately 7 parts per million. So once it turns red, we count how many number of drops that we've done, and that will be what the alkalinity is. First drop, 7 parts per million, and 2 drops and it's already red. So this alkalinity right here is around 14 parts per million. This right here is a fast way to do to measure the calcium carbonate that's in the pond. The other way is to do a soil sample. Go out and collect 7 or 8 samples across the pond, put them out, let them dry, mix them all together, and then send them to Auburn or to a soil testing lab, and they'll give you the results of what the lime requirement is. Most of the time when you do a lime when you send a soil sample off, most of the time that's what they want you to put every year. In fish ponds, we usually go as high as 3 to 5 tons of lime per acre, and that usually will cover you, depending on how much water flows out of the pond, that should cover you for about 4 to 5 years, depending on rainfall, Mother Nature, and everything else. But this right here, this alkalinity test kit, is just an easy, fast way to know if we need lime real quick. It won't tell you how much lime to put. That's why we just always recommend 3 to 5 tons per acre. Once lime is applied to the fish pond, we check the water visibility. We use a Secchi disc, which is a black and white disc attached to a yardstick. As a pond manager, this is one of the most useful tools you'll ever have before you fertilize a fish pond, that you've got to have one of these in order to do it right. What you do, this is a Secchi disc. It's just a black and white piece of wood mounted on a yardstick. What you want to do is you want to get on the sunny side. You want to stick it in the water until it disappears, and then you want to record the depth on the yardstick. Anything between 18 and 24 inches, you don't want to do anything. That's the ultimate level right there. Over 24 inches, you want to go ahead and fertilize. This pond was 28, so we're going to fertilize it here in just a minute. Anything under 18 inches, you just want to watch it a little closely. Anything under 12 inches, be prepared to aerate. When you fertilize, a limited nutrient in that fertilizer is phosphorus. And we use a Pond Max fertilizer 1052-4 water soluble. Very economical, easy to use, 125-pound bag will do 5 acres of water. You can treat it off the pier, off the dock in one spot. It's very user-friendly and very easy to do. All right, this type of fertilizer that we're using now is water-soluble fertilizer. The reason we like this is like the old bag type of fertilizer. You had to cut a hole in the bag and set it in 18, 24 inches, and it had to dissolve out. This instantly dissolves and goes into solution, makes it readily available. As soon as it hits water, it just dissolves. And it's already in solution. Plankton, and then zooplankton feeds off of plankton. Then the small fish feed off of zooplankton, and then your big fish feed off of small fish. Plankton, zooplankton, small fish, and big fish. That's the food chain inside a fishery. When you look at An unfertilized pond is only capable of producing up to 100 pounds of fish per acre. If you spend the time and a little bit of money, you can produce 300 to 400 pounds of fish per acre. Basically, you just have to treat this thing just like it's a food plot or a garden. The basics is liming and fertilizing and maintaining the water quality. But if you want to go that extra mile and add a little bit of boost to the fish, then we need to put fish feeders on the pond. Not only will it attract fish to one location where they're easy to catch, but it also makes them healthier, they reproduce better, and they spawn more. This type of feed that we use a 36% floating fish feed. It's all the same size, 3/16 inch size. The reason I like to use this is because all different size fish can eat it. The 32% fish feed that most people use, only the big bluegill can eat it. But on this size right here, all your 3-inch fish all the way up to your 10, 11-inch fish can eat it.
If you had a pond, I'm gonna ask you this, if you had a pond.
Well, if I talk to a pond owner, that's what I'm gonna ask him, is what are you interested in? Are you a bass fisherman or a bluegill fisherman? And if he says bass fisherman, then automatically we got to go forage based. We have to add more forage to get that weight on the bass to make him happy. It takes 10 pounds of forage to equal 1 pound on a bass. If a 10-pound bass has to eat a 1 to 2-inch fish all day, he's actually going to lose weight. But if he can go out there and he can eat 1 4 or 5-inch bluegill, he can just sit back and get fat. How thick that fish is. That wide. That is a chunk. Would you rather come out to this pond and catch 100 1-pounders in a day? Or would you rather come out here and catch 10 10-pounders in a day?
There's a place I go, tucked back in the pines, where a green field grows, my own little paradise. I'm thankful for this land and the life that it provides. See, the measure of a man is what he leaves behind. Oh, oh, take what you need and pass it on down.
Sometimes you just got to get on old Chucky. Let him loosen up a little bit.
I am what I am. If you sit me down, I'm going to talk like this. Get trails in pine plantations, nothing can be better.
That'd have been good if he hadn't just bulldozed the camera.